And so decreased self-confidence can be one of the effects of punishment, inflicting punishment on our children. So harsh punishment can make children feel inadequate or unworthy, and this goes a long way with them into their adulthood. And so another effect would be strained relationships. Punishment can damage the parent-child relationship, leading to mistrust and resentment. There has to be a limit and different ways on how you punish your child. Because don't be lied to that your children, they are growing, they have reason, they have common sense. And someday they'll grow up and they start thinking of what was happening. They start reasoning out, was it a punishment for out of love? Or is it a punishment out of... Because sometimes as parents, we don't think before we start punishing, inflicting the whatever kind of punishment that we decide to. So sometimes you have a fight with your spouse, then this child comes and does something that they're not supposed to do. Then out of the bitterness that you do not have with them, but with whoever you are fighting with, because they are weak vessels and they are available, parents tend to do that. Parents tend to pour that on the children. Mommy and daddy are fighting, and so because this child is weak and is daddy's favorite, or vice versa, so the child gets the punishment that daddy was supposed to get. All right? Or in case of separation, mommy, now you have your children, and daddy does not support, and this child is unruly, is rowdy, and is going through something that you have not communicated and you have not talked about with them. And so this child is just acting out of the rules and the norms in this family, and you can't take it anymore. And so you are always on the case of this child, and yet you haven't sat down this child so that you can talk about these things, so that you can say what is going on. All right? And so you find that sometimes punishments that we inflict on them, it's not even out of the mistakes that they have done. It is out of something that you're going through, and you're looking for a soft landing for your own problems and your own issues. And so you get to realize that you are hurting them instead of helping them. And you're not just hurting them now. You're hurting their future, and you're hurting where they're going to. You're hurting their journey of growth. All right? And so at some point, your children there is no one. There's no communication. They don't reach out. They don't. And you're asking, what did I do? Or these children, and parents go complaining, said, I suffered with you people. I did one, and you're complaining, and you're saying all sorts of stuff. And you're releasing these words because your children, they don't help you anymore. And what you don't remember is that when they were growing up, you are creating a gap. And they were watching and they were seeing. And as they're growing up as adults, these wounds were deep. You never discussed about them. You never said sorry. You never thought about it. And so the distance, the gap grew wider. And so when they grow up, they all that has been inside that child is resentment all this while. And as we said, that every child is different, created differently and molded differently, reasons differently. They've been carrying resentment all their lives in their lives. And you'll be asking these questions, and there's no turning back. And so the child is gone and nowhere to be seen. And you keep complaining. Remember, even the Bible says there's a command for children to obey their parents. But the same command says So the children are commanded to obey their parents, for it's a command that has a promise with it, that all will go with you. All will go well with you. But also the parents are told down there, parents, do not exasperate your children. And so when you're dealing with children, many times teachers, caregivers, uncles, aunts, grandparents, you forget that these people are growing. And every single day they grow and they're seeing what you're doing. They're watching. They're human beings. They have feelings. They have emotions. And they're seeing what is going on. And one day you'll be asking, what did I do? I even helped paid her tuition fee. I even gave her, I don't know, pocket money. And what you do not remember is and are the negative things that you did. And so we tend to forget that some of the punishment that we choose upon these children do not work positively but negatively. So an alternative to punishment would be, my suggestions, that alternative to punishment would be, in this time and age, in the 21st century, bringing up the alphas and the baby boomers and the Gen Zs, there are alternative forms of punishments. And like one of them would be positive reinforcement. For example, reward good behavior. Okay? If they do something good, give a gift. Buy a gift. I know that's hard. To encourage, all right? When they see that when I do good, I get a gift for what I have done, then this can encourage positive actions in them. Remember, no child is not teachable or impossible to change, just like any other human being. Because no man, no human being has a heart of stone. We are all made of flesh and blood. And any flesh, any man, any living thing knows when you're good to them and when you're bad to them. And these are children. We are talking about children here. And so depending with the age, all right, look what kind of positive reinforcement can work for a 3-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 20-year-old. Which kind of positive reinforcement can work? Okay. For the young ones, you can buy a toy, for example. Okay. Because maybe they tidied up the toys after they finished to play, and you said every day you have been saying, tidy up the toys after you finish to play. They don't do it. And so you put them on a corner and say your punishment is you're not going to play outside. And it is not working. Because we try different forms of punishment. And if they're not working, you change to another. So why don't you try a positive reinforcement, like buying that child a gift and say, oh, today you tidied up your toys, so tomorrow I have a gift for you for doing that. Then come back with a new car, with a new toy car. I'm telling you, every day, that would work. Then now they will know that if I continue tidying up my toys when I finish to play, I may get another gift. All right? That would work for a 3, 4, 5-year-old because they love and value their toys. 6, 7, 8, 9, they love their football. Okay? And they love to play their games on the phone. They love to watch TV because now those are the hero worshippers. They want to look at Spider-Man. They want to look at these heroes. Those are hero worshippers. That is the age that looks for someone, for a role model, for someone that they can identify with. All right. So why don't you try like saying, today you did your homework on time. Today you're not watching TV when you're supposed to be doing your homework. You know what? I'm gonna buy you a PS or a PS2, or I'm gonna buy you a new t-shirt to go and play. I'm gonna buy you boots to go and play your football. Tomorrow I have a surprise for you. Then you bring the surprise. You keep your promises. Then see if that works. If it works, then it is working. It is an alternative of beating. It is an alternative of taking away, of switching off the TV. Then you end up punishing everyone. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, so as a teenager, why don't you try something like they have a problem with bathing. They don't like to bathe. I don't know what happens. They just don't like bathing, or they just like staying in their bedrooms. They want their space. Okay, and so you can call, come and eat, come and eat, come and eat, and that doesn't settle well. You can do that over and over again. Why don't you try the day you call them, and maybe just assume maybe the power is not there, and that's why they came out of their bedroom very as soon as you called, and just say, oh, today you have come out so soon when I called. And so for that, I have a gift for you tomorrow, and buy a gift, something that they have been wanting, and you still didn't have money, and now you have got the money, and bring for that teenager, and see if it works, for example. I'm just giving examples. There's so many examples, and you have them in your houses, and you know what works and what will work and what won't work. And so you can try different things. And so positive reinforcement can be one of them, of rewarding good behavior. And so another one would be redirection. Redirecting children's attention to an alternative behavior can be effective. For example, overspending time on their gadget. You can have an alternative of enrolling them to a club of ballet dancing, going out to play chess, joining them to a swimming club, introducing them to a football club for their ages. You understand? And so redirect their energy to doing something different that is exciting, that you see would work out, that would help them. All right? That would be an alternative form of punishment. Another one would be natural consequences. Allowing children to experience natural consequences of their actions. Natural consequences of their actions is a good enough punishment, by the way. Remember, punishment should not always come after. Remember that punishment should always come after you have communicated. And so when something happens to this boy or girl, naturally, and you have talked about it, you have stopped them over and over and over again, then you allow them to experience the consequences of their behavior. It's a good enough thing. You have been, for example, you have been telling this young man, stop coming home late. Home time, because you know where they go. If it is at the university or in college, they come, the university ends at 7, so they should be at least home at 9, but they want to come after 11.